Hi, guys. Welcome to the office hours for week 12 for COIS FRSC 2750. Thanks for taking some time to go over what's going on in the course. I'll do my regular little spiel here and just cover the areas that I want to cover. And then I'll open the floor for questions. And if afterwards anyone wants to talk to me privately, we will certainly do that. Okay, so like I said, we're in week 12. There are only 13 weeks. So we are just about at the end here. We're on chapter 9, and we have a chapter 9 quiz due this Friday at 11:59:00. And we have discussion 5, the first post due Friday at 11:59:00 as well. So keep in mind that the discussions are best 4 out of 5. So if you are satisfied, maybe you've done really, really well in the first 4, you are not required to submit a 5th discussion post. If you think you can improve your mark, or if you just want the exercise of working on your writing, that's fine. Please go ahead and do that. We are working away on marking the other discussion post. I think I asked the workshop leaders to be done with discussion 4 by this coming Sunday. So I will post that as soon as everyone is marked. We're obviously in a very heavy stage of marking now, with marking the term paper, marking the discussion posts as well. So we'll get through that. Since we've given really verbose feedback for the first couple, and you've got feedback from the third one as well, hopefully you've got enough information to go on to make your discussion post for 5 good, and you've corrected any deficits that you may have experienced early on. The term paper will be marked very early in April, in the first week of April, so that you'll have lots of time to digest your mark, see where you stand before going into the final exam. Okay, so you'll certainly have lots of time. It's probably not a rational thing to know where you are exactly. You should be always trying to optimize your performance on the final exam, but in any case, you will have that information in front of you. So the term paper is worth 15% of your mark. Your final exam is worth 30% of your mark. Keep in mind that if you've done all the work and you submitted 5 out of 5 discussions, your mark's going to be slightly overstated. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And I say that because it's best 4 of 5. Blackboard is unfortunately not sophisticated enough or smart enough to make that calculation for us. So it would just add in, if you could have as much as 5% overstated if you'd done perfect in all 5 discussion posts. Okay, because they're worth 5% each. The other thing I want to remind everyone of, not for this week, but for next week, the term ends on a Thursday. Okay, so your chapter 10 quiz next week is due Thursday at 11:59:00, and your discussion 5, your second post, is due at on Thursday at 11:59:00 as well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Those of you, maybe you've got a pattern of doing your discussions on Friday or whatever it is, it won't work in the final week of the course because we end on a Thursday. Hopefully everyone has registered for their exam location at this point. If you have not, you've missed the deadline by quite a long time, 2 or 3 weeks at this point, and you are by default registered for Peterborough. You had 3 choices. You could have chosen online, which is our Examity service that we pay for as a university. You could have written in Peterborough, which is the default if you didn't do anything, or you can write in Durham in person. So they're all proctored exams, and that was the choice that you were asked to make a few weeks ago at this point. If you are living in some country or some location within this country, that means you're not going to be able to make it to Peterborough, and you are wanting to write online, you are going to want to beg online at trentu.ca to help you out. Even though you didn't do your part, you should start with that. I did not do my part. I apologize for that. Can you help me out and schedule me online? If you chose Examity, if you followed everything properly and you chose Examity, the online choice, you should also have booked an appointment with Examity for the exam day as well. Okay. Hopefully all that's done. Now, just as a reminder, I have nothing to do with Examity. That is online at trentu.ca. You're welcome if you have questions or you have concerns or something's going wrong to copy me just for awareness, but I can't do a darn thing for you. Okay. I cannot, I don't have a contact Examity. I don't know anyone at Examity. That is our online at trentu.ca. So work through them, please. Same thing if you have technical difficulties. I often get panicked emails for one reason or another. Given the number of students that I have, there's always one or two that something can go wrong or seems to be going wrong. Sending me an email doesn't do you any good, particularly given that Examity runs 24 hours. You send me an email at 2 in the morning, I'm not going to see it till the next morning. Okay. So I'm not sure what the hours that IT keeps, but there will be support for at least till the regular hours that we write exams, like until 10 o'clock at night, I believe, through IT. So do reach out to them. Also, just while we're talking about exams and things that can go wrong, have faith that we will rectify problems that are at our end. Meaning, if your computer dies, if your internet dies, if your whatever problem at your end goes wrong, I can't help you with that. But if the Examity service fails, if Blackboard goes down, don't panic. We will take care of you for that. Okay. You're going to have an opportunity to rewrite or do something to rectify that problem. If it's at our end, and I've never had any massive, and I hope never to have any massive failures at our end, but if you've done all the right things at your end and something goes wrong with Examity, the proctor doesn't show up, that is something we will resolve for you. So don't let that even get your heart rate up. Just reach out to online at trentu.ca, copy me, and we will work something out. Okay. Just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover at this point. Most of the marks are in so far. Keep in mind that if you didn't submit something and we didn't put a 0 in that category, which we don't necessarily do, your denominator will be wrong in your my grades. So don't trust that. Right now, we have 3 discussions that are marked, so that's 15%. We've got 8 quizzes, I believe, which is another 12%. So we're at 27. We've got midterm for 20. We're at 47%. So your mark is probably out of 47 at this point. Okay, we've got 15% for a term paper. We've got 1 or 2 discussions to add to your mark. We've got a couple quizzes to add to your mark. And we've got the final exam where 30% to add to your mark. So know where you are, do the math. I always, in all my courses, the number that you see is the number out of 100 that if you did nothing else or you got nothing else marked, that's what you would get. Okay. Just as a reminder, in case someone watches this, has never watched an office hours before, or is attending this office hours and has never attended one before, the people that are waking up in this point in the course and going, uh-oh, I haven't done anything, or I did very, very little in this course. Sir, can I make this up? Can I do some work to make up the mark? Can you open up the quizzes? Can you let me submit the term paper late without penalty? I don't do any of those things. I treat everyone fairly. The deadline is the deadline, and that is enforced strictly. The exception to that, of course, is if people have medical issues and have doctor's notes that can show that medical issue, or if they have SAS accommodations. I always defer to SAS and follow whatever their recommendation is. So, but if the dog ate your homework, or you forgot about it, or you didn't put the right date in, I've heard everything. I've heard cat ran across my keyboard and turned my computer off. Of course, every computer's crashed, internet's crashed. I've heard it all. I've taught thousands and thousands of students. I'm not accommodating any of those things. So just to be fair, those of you that have been in most of the office hours already know all that. So I'm just preaching to the choir here at this point. The other thing I wanted to say is next office hours is the last office hours, but it will be probably, other than the first office hours, it'll probably be the best attended office hours, because I'll actually talk about everything you need to know about the final exam. So I will definitely cover that next week in 7 days. Okay. I think that's it, guys. I think that's all the stuff that I wanted to cover. Does anyone have any questions for me that I can help with? If you don't have questions, if you're happy with everything that's gone on so far, or at least satisfied, whether you're happy or not, go ahead on with your evening. Thank you for taking the 15 or 20 minutes to attend. If you want to talk to me privately, stick around and I will set up private rooms, and I will talk to anyone that wants to talk to me privately to answer your questions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Shan.